"Eng the hotel do not disturb sign, with my name on the back." The sign dangled from our apartment door as if it had walked here by itself. Heavy card stock, crimson border, the sort hotels give to rooms that want to be believed. On the front, "Do not disturb" in letters that thought they were in charge. On the back, in sharp black marker, someone had written, "For Adrian, Suite 1712, 10:40 p.m. R." I restore clocks for a living. Brass gears, tired mainsprings, hands that pretend they know how to keep faith. My shop smells like oil and patience. Daniel, the man I share an apartment and a vocabulary with, writes about art for magazines that confuse donors with readers. We have been together 6 years. The good bowls live on the second shelf. 2 glasses stand by the sink because we built a rule out of water: pour before the sentence that changes a day. He had come home the night before smelling like cedar and the lobby of a hotel that sells permission. He kissed the line of my jaw as if accuracy counted for affection, and folded himself into the shower with the diligence of a man who believes in erasure. "There's a preview dinner tomorrow," he said. "Albion, suite level. They want me to see the paintings before they pretend to bid." He said it like someone who knew I would not ask which room. Now a sign leaned against our door with my name on its back. At 9 I was in the lobby of the Albion. Marble that spoke quietly, brass that insisted on its memories, elevators that knew too much. I tapped the card on my thigh and walked into Suite 1712 without knocking. I was raised to respect hinges, but sometimes discipline should starve. The suite had been designed by a committee that liked beige more than consequence. A terrace door waited open to city noise. 2 glasses of water sweated on a low table. A jacket I knew from our hallway, Daniel's navy, with the cuff he refuses to let me mend, lay folded too neatly on the back of a chair. "Adrian," a voice said from the terrace. Rafe, taller than the photos, shirt unbuttoned 2 notches past narrative, hair that had decided to forgive humidity. He smelled like cedar and the hour that ruins things gently. He stepped in as if the city had escorted him. "You wrote my name on cardboard meant for strangers," I said. "That's persuasive." "I didn't want you to hear it from his version," Rafe said. He stayed by the glass door, letting the air do its part. "He thinks he's meeting me after dinner to end it politely. I thought you should have the room before it turns into theater." "How long?" I asked, because questions can be scalpels. 8 months, he said. "No costume, no bow, rain and an elevator, a lobby that sells permission with carpeting. I ended it twice. He sent me a photo of your breakfast with a complaint about the wall text. I respected his sentences more than I should have." He poured water, slid a glass toward me. Our fingers touched. Heat performed its trick. He stepped nearer and stopped with an inch between his knuckles and my wrist. That inch had its own grammar. He left it intact. The restraint was indecent in the way only mercy can be. The lock turned. Daniel entered with his docent face, the one he lends to rooms that demand admiration. He saw me. He saw Rafe. He saw the jacket and the inch of air. He closed the door with a hinge's dignity. "Okay," he said. The word was accurate. "You could have kept my name out of your evening," I said. "You chose not to." "I chose incompetence," he said, and I believed him for that instant. And then cowardice. I cheated. I told myself it was weather and home is a noun that survives rain. I told myself your patience is elastic because you fix clocks. I called spark structure. I don't want to hear me again. Rafe had drifted to the terrace rail like oxygen required proof. He lifted a hand toward my throat and paused at that inch. Heat made its memorandum. He let it be. His mercy was sharper than contact. "What do you want me to do?" Daniel asked. He didn't reach. He has learned. reaching as a contract the wrists sign before the brain reads it. "You'll end it," I said. "You'll sleep on the couch we refuse to call a guest anything. Next week you'll tell me what this was twice, once with your critic's voice that spackles bone, once with small words. I'll decide what my hands can hold without lying to my wrists." "I'll do that," he said, and I trusted the grammar if not the man. Rafe exhaled. He came close enough for his mouth to almost learn my ear, but not. Warmth mapped my jaw without claiming territory. "Thank you for not making me your parable," he whispered. "We both would have believed you." He left through the terrace without asking the door to punctuate. Daniel and I stood. We didn't sit. Chairs would have made posture into performance. The city outside rehearsed a chorus line of lights. "I'm not leaving tonight," I said. "We'll take the long walk home without touching. We'll wait at crosswalks because other people's knees and our better natures both deserve seconds. You'll sleep on the couch. Tomorrow you'll end it without complimenting him. Next week you'll bring me small words." He nodded. He didn't cry. I still loved him for that. A waiter knocked, apologized to no one, and delivered a tray of desserts meant for donors. Sugar smelled like pretense. We walked home. The street remembered how to be unremarkable. At the corner, a cyclist clipped too close and Daniel's palm rose in reflex. It hovered near my hip, a mercy I wanted and refused. I didn't lean. A man can choose the boring tool that keeps the lock from lying. At home, the kettle auditioned. I declined to cast it. He laid blankets on the couch with the carefulness of someone who hopes fabric might intercede. I slept in a bed that had decided neutrality was a virtue. He returned from the lobby the next morning smelling like nothing, the cologne of adulthood. He said he had ended it. He told me twice. The critic's version sanded edges into narrative. The small words did the work. He liked being two men because one wasn't tired. He mistook adrenaline for architecture. He could be one person if I let him do the work. I let him. It wasn't nobility. It was math with a conscience. He slept on the couch for 6 nights, relearning the distance between our door and our bed. On the 7th he came to me without preamble, with hands that remembered the lazy precision we had taught each other early and almost forgotten. There is an erotics of restraint that does not audition. There is a thrill in refusing to ruin morning. 2 days later, Rafe texted, "Thank you for telling the truth under a sign meant for silence." I replied, "Try it where no one irons the sheets." He didn't respond, which was the second best thing he did. Work stayed exact. A grandfather clock that hadn't struck in years shivered when I coaxed its pendulum into grace. A client asked me to erase a dent from a carriage clock, and I told him honesty is worth more than shine. A boy brought me a wristwatch he'd found in his father's drawer. I showed him how a spring, if wound with care, forgives more often than it punishes. He looked at me like consequence was a gift. A week later, I saw Rafe at the hotel loading dock arguing with a florist about height. He looked smaller. Maybe my anger had stopped needing him to be tall. He said hello without auditioning for a scene. He didn't smell like cedar. The space between us minded itself. He left without asking to be immoral. Here is the part I won't pretend is noble. I wanted him. The inch, the heat, the mercy disguised as self-control. I wanted the mistake elegant enough to narrate on the way home. I didn't take it. Wanting is a sentence, not a command. Bodies vote. Ethics count. Boredom is a mercy that helps you like yourself at noon. Daniel and I adjusted the frame. 2 glasses before 3 sentences. Less reach, better touch. We stopped letting the kettle dictate tone. At openings, we stand near exits not because we plan to leave, but because rooms breathe better when doors aren't dares. He keeps his phone face down on the console now, like a man who has learned that attention is an art form, not an alibi. If another sign arrives with my name on its back, I will bring water. I will sit where the exit is obvious and not call that cowardice. If a hand lifts toward my neck, I will let the inch exist and answer in a tense I can live with at breakfast. I will keep choosing verbs that keep us possible. End, stay, tell, work, touch, wait. And when I oil a gear and hear the faint, true tick of time returning to itself, I will think of the night we declined a finale under hotel lamps and argued for repair instead. And I will call that deliberate air the most difficult thing I know how to make, and the only thing that still holds when daylight forgets its lines.